Lonely waypoints for boats traveling along the Inside Passage route, these are the abandoned cities of the Lost Coast. Once thriving communities bordering the Pacific Ocean of northern Canada, they're nearly all but vanished. We're here in abandoned Butedale, an iconic stop on BC's Inside Passage route. It's been left to rot and decay. Crazy how much rubbish there is. Ruins of a civilization being reclaimed by the wildness of the Great Bear Rainforest. The story of this remote ghost town is an interesting one. Cut off from the rest of the world, no roads will lead you here. To get here, we journeyed through British Columbia's rugged mountains, sailing through adverse conditions.
We've had quite a day of sailing. Holy.
Yeah, definitely got a touch of seasickness there, which I wasn't expecting. And inhospitable weather.
Getting a lot of wind off this black cloud ahead of us.
Experiencing firsthand the wildness of this vast landscape. Oh my god, we just spotted a mama black bear and 2 baby cubs feeding on the rocks. They are so cute. We're currently navigating the long winding channels of the Inside Passage route, timing the tides through a series of narrow passages that will lead us north.
So the plan for today is we're going to get out of Jackson Narrows here. We're going to head back out into Finlayson Channel. We're going to head north. We're going to arrive up at the start of Princess Royal Channel, hopefully around Slack, which is at 2 o'clock today. It's going to then turn to a flood, so the current should help us along Princess Royal Channel. It's about 30 or 40 miles up there, and we're hoping that with a little bit of wind that's meant to be blowing offshore today, hopefully that'll be funneling into the channel, and with the current we should be able to make good time and get further up north to Butedale. But the real goal would be to get up to Bishop Bay Hot Springs so that we can get out of the rain, we can go relax, we can hot tub again, which is just going to be absolutely superb after freezing our asses off all day in the rain. So yeah, that's the plan. We're going to haul the hook, get out of here. We've got to go pick up the crab pot, see if we have any special treats for lunch. And yeah, hopefully we can stay dry, calm, cool, collected, relaxed, and warm while we're underway today. First pot of the season. Empty.
Damn! So disappointing when that happened. No luck on dinner this time, sadly, but we'll need better luck with the wind in order to make it the 30 nautical miles to Butedale before the tides turn against us.
We were really hoping that we could sail today. When we came out, there was a little tiny bit of wind, so we put the head sail out to try to maximize it. We got a little bit of boost from that for a little bit, but then the winds just completely died out and it set into really gray, drizzly, wet weather out here. Like, very wet. It's just constant drizzle. But we're just motoring along, going north up Finlayson Channel. We're just a little bit before slack turning to flood, so hopefully we should be arriving up into Princess Royal at the start of the flood, and then we'll just ride north up Princess Royal for the rest of the afternoon. Probably motoring along. I don't think there'll be any wind in there. I guess that is why they call it the Inside Passage, because it is inside and it is protected, and you don't have to deal with any of the gnarly weather out on the coast.
Despite how miserable the conditions might seem out here sometimes, the magic is in the mist.
It's beautiful. You can see all the clouds forming out of the forest as it's like perspiring.
We are, after all, traveling through the heart of the Great Bear Rainforest, a uniquely rich ecosystem teeming with wildlife, the largest remaining intact coastal temperate rainforest in the world. With an average of 7,000 millimeters of rain barreling over these cliffs every year, this region experiences some of the heaviest rainfall in North America, which makes for some pretty epic waterfalls.
Well, that was pretty majestic. 2 beautiful, huge waterfalls. Water just gushing down over that granite cliff. It's pretty spectacular. I guess it's pouring out of a big lake that seems to be on this plateau here. And I guess that's sort of the benefit of coming up when it's really wet and rainy, is you get to see a lot of those epic waterfalls. It reminds me so much actually of being in the Fjordland in New Zealand in Milford Sound. Very much Milford Sound vibes.
just arriving here in Butedale. It's been a really long day of motoring, but we've been making great progress up Princess Royale Channel. Definitely time your entrance into the channel with the start of flood so you can ride the flood current all the way up. We've been averaging 6.5, 7 knots motoring at like 1500 RPM, which is like absolutely incredible for us. Flying along using very little diesel. But we just arrived here at Butedale. We're just gonna put the fenders out and go get on the dock for the night. We're not gonna go much further.
Looming out of the mist, Butedale, the ruins of a once thriving metropolis, is now sliding into the sea. A community built over a century ago around the rich abundance of fish and the hydroelectrical capacity of the nearby falls. It's now locally known as a ghost town.
Butedale is an old cannery town. It's one of the many canneries up and down the coast. It's now obviously closed and abandoned and ruined. I believe there is a caretaker and there is a plan to make it into some sort of marine thing resort down the track, but I think they're still looking for a buyer.
Like most of the places we stop on this coast, it's got a really unique history and it's a pretty cool place to explore. So let's go take a look around.
At the turn of the 20th century, the coastline of British Columbia was dotted with hundreds of canneries like this one, all in the business of commodifying the preservation of fish. Then, the province's abundance of salmon seemed infinite, and entire towns were being built around these large canning facilities. Fed by a steady supply of fishing vessels with holds filled to the brim with silvery fish, thousands of tons being processed here year-round.
Canadian refrigeration curve. It's probably to do with refrigeration and making ice, which would have been an essential part of a cannery. And in fact, we do know that Butedale did have an ice making machine. It was one of the few places along the coast that salmon boats and fishing boats could actually stock up on ice to keep their fish in the holes, which is pretty cool. No, my body weight's not heavy enough to move it. It's probably seized.
It's funny to me that they had ice here 100 years ago and we still don't have it on our floating home. Get with the times, guys, right? What do you think?
It's so neat that like 100 years later you can still open and close a valve. They really don't make things like they used to.
Well greased.
I know. Oh, that one's seized. That one's seized. Oh, this could just be my weak hands. So that must be the hydroelectric building where they generated power off the head pressure of the Butedale Lake. It's pretty cool that they're using hydropower out here 100 years ago, similar to Ocean Falls. And I believe there is still a hydroelectricity license for the dam here. So the current owners could run power off the lake.
The energy produced from water flooding down from the nearby lake provided electricity for the town, powering the processing and ice manufacturing facility, making Butedale a one-stop shop for fishing vessels. In its heyday, hundreds of people were living isolated in this remote corner of the West Coast. But the location and landscape proved challenging, and by mid-century, the community ceased to exist.
It's actually kind of cozy.
Yeah, I would hazard a guess. Like, there was a caretaker who lived here up until like, I guess just before COVID times. This is probably the building that he lived in, if I had to hazard a guess. It looks like the only building that has a roof that's intact and isn't leaking. And it's kind of homey. Looks like it's been cleaned up, but yeah, I could totally imagine. It's got a glorious view out the inlet. Pretty amazing. Definitely needs some work though.
No, that is terrifying.
You always know that you're in an abandoned place when there's like creepy dolls on unmade beds in abandoned buildings. I don't know why that always is, but every single time we've gone to one of these abandoned industry towns, there's always a freaking creepy doll somewhere.
I cannot handle that. No, I'm so creeped out. Bad juju.
I don't know, somebody's got a weird sense of humor. Let's get out of here.
Many communities on the coast have long been abandoned, slowly being reclaimed by the wildness of nature. By the mid-1900s, canneries were slowly phasing out, being replaced by more modern technology and the steady decline of fish. In 1950, a heavy snowfall collapsed the roof of the cannery here, spelling the beginning of the end for the town.
Crazy how much rubbish there is. Just a big pile of crap. Metal and stuff. Do you think any of this can be reused?
I doubt it.
Do you think they've got plans to barge it out of here?
Doubt it.
When the cannery closed, there was little work for residents. Folks packed up and left, and buildings were simply left as they were. Legend has it the lights of the town remained on for years, eerily illuminated as seen by passing ships in the night.
We've just left Butedale. It's around slack again this afternoon. We're turning back to a flood so we can continue going north up the channel. A couple of little anchorages further up, but I think there is one in mind that I specifically would like to go visit. It's Bishop Bay Hot Springs, because it has the warm water coming out of the earth and coming into a bathtub. Going to get rejuvenated, going to get relaxed, and it is the perfect way to treat yourself after spending so much time motoring up a channel in the rain.
Feeling pretty hungry,
so I'm just heating up some leftover soup that I made yesterday. Just sort of like an Italian soup with some white beans, rice, veggies, a little bit of pesto, fresh herbs. I'm gonna have that with some very delicious sourdough bread and lots of butter. Yum!
That looks great.
It's warm, cheesy, and delicious. It's like total comfort food.
Mm-hmm.
I could never settle down too far away from my hometown. With my family I am bound. I'll stick by them till I'm in the ground. Ooh.
We've been passing some beautiful waterfalls on this cruise.
It's pretty cool just to sit back on the boat and it's like National Geographic slideshow presentation as you're like going by.
Well, it's been a pretty chill day motoring up Fraser Reach towards Bishop Bay Hot Springs. No wind today, but we've also had no rain, so it's been nice and dry. Just been motoring, got the autopilot on, which is still something we're getting used to because previously we've been helming these long trips. It's been really nice to just sit back, relax.
I'm just making a cover for the autopilot. We've gotten a couple of comments saying that these things work great unless they get really, really wet, in which case the water gets inside them and corrodes some of the parts. I'm not really sure why you would make a autopilot that's meant to be out in the elements that's not waterproof, but hey, whatever. We have a little bit of sunbrella on board and I have this little piece of vinyl sample courtesy of Canvassy, so thank you for giving this to me, Christoph. You probably didn't intend for me to actually make something out of it, but seeing as I have it with me, I'm going to make a little autopilot cover while we're underway here. I'm sure you'd do a much better job, but thank you, and I really hope you didn't want it back because it's going to get used. I'm just blown away by how far we've actually gotten in a week, and we're already at the top of Princess Royal Channel, arriving at Bishop Bay Hot Springs, which is just insane. I didn't think that we'd get up here that quickly.
We've covered hundreds of nautical miles in the past few days, leaving Northern Vancouver Island and sailing offshore before winding through the waterways of the Inside Passage, heading north. The first leg of a 2,000 nautical mile journey, sailing to Alaska.
We're back in the groove of being on the boat, cruising, and it's just feeling amazing to be out here and just back in the swing of things.
During the months leading up to this journey, we spent countless hours working and refitting the boat, gearing up for the voyage.
It was such a grind getting the boat ready, getting work finished up, collecting all those freedom tokens, spending all those boat units, and all of that is just worries of the past now. But it's great because it means we get to really maximize our time up in Alaska, which is great for my visa things, it's great for filming, it's great for just exploring new territory, new spaces, and it's great for you guys who get to see all new videos coming to you soon. So if you haven't subscribed, please do us a favor, hit that subscribe button, come along on the adventure, like the videos, write us a comment, tell us how you're going, what you think of things, and we look forward to seeing you in the next one.
It is absolutely gorgeous here. Wow. Beautiful forests, misty mountains, pristine. The sea is so glassy calm. It's amazing. We're starting to see more snow-capped mountains, and because there's a little bit of blue sky today, you can really see the tips of the mountains and the granite cliffs, and it's stunning. We're just coming into Bishop Bay here.
Apparently there's a public dock which is maintained by the locals, which you can tie up to, raft up to. There's also a couple of mooring buoys in there as well that you can get onto. You can also anchor, although the holding allegedly is not very good. It is astonishingly deep at the moment. We're still in like 400 meters of water, and it pretty well comes right up to the head of the bay and then comes straight up in a sheer cliff. So yeah, anchoring can be pretty challenging, I would say, up here, which is probably why there's a dock and mooring buoys. This is it, Bishop Bay Hot Spring. Third hot spring on our sail to soak tour. The facility here is managed by BC Parks. There is a donation to use the dock and the mooring buoy, and they do recommend that you keep in the water less than 20 minutes to prevent overheating, and that you cannot drink the hot water. It is unsuitable for drinking. Those are the rules. That's all I'm going to tell you about it. But it's absolutely amazing. It's really neat. There's tons of bits of memorabilia from all the cruisers who have visited over the years, so that's really neat to like look through it all and recognize your friends' boats and see that other people have been here. Water temperature is absolute spot on, perfect temperature for like just relaxing. You just sit in the pool, you don't even need to get out. We've been in here for like 2 hours straight and it's absolutely rocking.
So cool in here. Oh, life is like sailing. Show those guys. Lovely. Oh. People always ask us how we shower. Well, here you go, folks. Find a source of hot water, hang it up, gravity feed it over your head.
Well, we've been hanging out here for a couple of days now at Bishop Bay. We just came back from a soak, and tonight we are having pizza because it's such a delicious treat to make, and we actually have enough time today. We've just been doing some work and hanging out and really enjoying this place. It's such a beautiful and magical place up here. But yeah, pizza night, so we're just making some dough, caramelizing some onions, a cast iron pizza, fresh dough, fresh sauce. That's the way to go. I think we're gonna have a little pineapple salami trio, maybe some onions, mushrooms, you know, all the good stuff. We baked the pizza off really hard on the stove to give it a nice little crust, and now we're just like keeping it hot on the oven, melt the cheese, get the toppings right, and finish baking the crust because we don't have an oven, but that's okay because now we have diesel heat and we can do anything in a cast iron pan. While our laundry also dries because we just came back from the hot tub and our towels are wet. Hot but good. Very hot but it's very good. Excellent. put in our little cruising token thing. It's customary for cruisers to leave a little something with their boat name on it, and we've done just that. We've engraved a little bookend that my best friend Steve gave me, so thank you, Steve. I'm leaving a little bit of you out here in Bishop Bay with us on it.
Pants?
Oh yeah, anytime you're using power tools without pants on, just makes you feel more manly.
As always, a huge thanks to our patrons for supporting the continued production of our videos. We'll see you next time.